What's the common language that we're using to talk about all this stuff, and where does it fit on the map of how we're working? And then trying to streamline all that stuff into a common language. And so we got it to this point where really, and this is kind of what I put in front of the players when they ask, like, why should I work on this? What should we do? And so we have the efficiency side, the technical, tactical aspect, and then movement efficiency, right? The skill of actually moving. And on the work side, we have mechanical work and cardiovascular work. And so to get guys bought into what we're trying to do, it was like, hey, if you're pound for pound as strong as possible, you're going to have less fatigue to do the same amount of work. Right? So just by getting pound for pound as strong as possible, I've made myself fitter. And because I'm more fit, I'm going to recover quicker. And because I recover quicker, I'm going to be less prone to injury. So you have all these benefits to try and get the guys into the weight room. Because when I first started in soccer, it was like all soccer guys were allergic to the weight room. Because if you had a little muscle soreness, it was like a muscle injury. And then those were bookended by nutrition and recovery. And I think, you know, from the mindset, that's an all-encompassing thing. And then the bottom pieces are just how we evaluate or try and differentially diagnose what the limiting factors to how the athlete's moving and what we can do if we change this one thing, it upgrades the whole system. And so then we started putting the rehab to actual performance training to how we're going to put this in our soccer day every day into training. So what's that kind of principle at play in the span? And then how do we implement it into our actual soccer periodization, right? So we have capacity, we have the training components, or our principles of play or phases of play, and then integrating it into all the drills and progressions of how we're going to operate. All right, the next lesson. Everyone attacks, everyone defends. Right? You have goalies, defenders, midfielders, and forwards. Everybody is responsible for scoring goals. Everybody's responsible for defending goals. And it's no different with the team behind the team. You have your specific roles and responsibilities. But sometimes, like even in the last minutes of the game, you're down a goal trying to tie it up. The goalie comes from the back to try and get a header and put it in the net and score a goal. Right? It might not be all the time, but there might be those moments where that goalie, who's your primary defender, has now got to attack. And so everybody has a responsibility to the system, also the team behind the team. And we have to appreciate that. We get stuck in our day-to-day tasks and how we're doing, but you got to look up, you got to see what's going on in the game, and you got to be able to see a need and fill a need.